30 seconds. 30 seconds was the difference. Good afternoon, good evening. This afternoon you have joined me up past Uig. I'm not quite sure whereabouts I am, but I'm near a jetty, I'm near some rocks, and I'm looking out towards the Outer Hebrides. Have a look. They are pretty clouded over, I must admit. 1 minute, let me just straighten you out a little bit. There we go. They are pretty clouded over, but I feel like I might be able to get a dramatic shot, which will be nice. I like dramatic. Dramatic is what I say I photograph. But what I have got is I've got some really interesting rocks just leading out into the water, and then there's little waves rolling up, little surges in the water, and what they're doing is they're creating really nice, interesting textures in the water. Again, if there is no light, find texture. Top tip, something that I always seem to be doing on the Isle of Skye, funnily enough. But yeah, it is absolutely beautiful, and fingers crossed with my long lens I'll be able to make some interesting images. Right, let's go find a composition. There is one thing I have found out since walking on these rocks. They are like ice. It's like walking on ice. They are really, really, really slippery. So I've got my composition all worked out, my first one anyway. The light behind me is looking absolutely great. It's looking amazing. But what I need to happen, which is what's happening right now, is the islands are completely clouded over, probably rain, which means that I can't see anything, i.e. my camera can't see anything. So now I just need to be really patient. But for my foreground, what I have managed to do is I've zoomed in to 110mm, and I'm using this line of rocks here. Every so often I get a big surge off the sea which comes over this line of rocks, and it creates some really nice patterns. And with a little bit of a slower exposure I should get some really nice movement in the water, which then will help the image, help the foreground become interesting. And then just directly over there is a mountain peak. I don't know what the name of the mountain is, but there is a peak way off in the distance over on the Isle of Harris, and that is my interest. That is my focal point. But what I need is for that focal point to be visible. But at the moment it is drizzling a little bit. I'm going to show you my new waterproofing technique for my camera. So what I've got is a lovely plastic bag. I've cut a big rip in the bottom here, and this is where my lens goes, and then all I do is put it just in front of the zoom lens, the zoom ring. This gets pulled nice and back. Et voila! One waterproof camera, water resistant to waterproof, and that's not bad. That's not bad. So I'm going to get this initial shot now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off really close to the foreground. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to make sure that this is absolutely pin sharp. Look at the detail in that now. Because I don't want to put a filter on the front because it might get wet and then that's going to ruin the whole shot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my f-stop all the way to f22, which should slow my shutter speed down. I've also got it on IS64, and then a correct exposure is 2.5 of a second, which should slow it down enough. It's not ideal, I'd like it to be a little bit slower, but it's the best I'm going to get. So the wave's coming up now, and I'm just going to fire that off as the water's leaving. It's looking pretty nice, but I want it to be slower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to risk my front element getting wet, and I'm going to put my polarizer on. So by adding that polarizer, what I've done is I've managed to take away 2 stops of light, which is going to give me a shutter speed of 2 seconds, which is going to be perfect for this water. It's going to capture a perfect amount of movement in the water as the water's receding, and hopefully I'll get some nice lines. So I've got it all focused in now. All I'm going to do now is wait for a nice big surge to come up. Is this the one? So that one's pretty good, so I'm going to fire that off. And look at that, isn't that beautiful? Absolutely stunning. Now I'm going to focus in a little bit further this time. I'm going to focus in on the end of the rock. I have got it on f22, so that should give me enough depth that between the two of them I should be able to have a nice sharp image all the way through. There we go. So now I'm just going to wait for another big surge. And look at that. Mixing both of them surges together is going to create a beautiful image. And now all I need to do, wait a little bit longer for the mountain to come out of the mist, out of the rain. Fingers crossed it comes soon, because there are more compositions here, but I really want this one. I have noticed something. I've got 2 rocks just over here, and I'm thinking with a really nice long exposure I'll be able to get some really interesting movement in the water around them rocks. So I'm going to travel across there and then see what I can create. So to complete this image and the vision I have, what I've done is I've got my polarizer on the front, and then I've put my my 10 stop ND filter. At the moment it reckons it's going to be 1 second, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a really useful app called Photo Pills, and that is going to calculate the time of exposure. So I'm going to get Photo Pills on, F11, 1 second, ISO 64, 10 stop. So that'll be a 4:16 exposure. And this is the only time I'm going to be able to use this, because my phone is about to die. So what I'll do is I'll use my watch and I'll time. So all I need to do now is change my camera to bulb, get my watch at the ready, get my stopwatch ready, start the timer. Right, that is time. I'm going to fire it off. Oh, looking absolutely sweet. I'll show you that image now. My gap in the storm is coming up quick, so I need to quickly get all of this off my camera and then swap my lenses. Otherwise I'm not going to get that composition that I first saw when I arrived. I've got about a minute to swap everything over. I'm hoping I get another clear patch. I've not got much longer of light, and it is fading fast. And I think that gap might have been my only gap. But you never know. Things may change, things may happen, you never know. Right, fingers crossed. There are no more breaks coming. But I have had a little look through the shots that I have captured, and I think I've captured enough to create what I envisioned. Not perfectly, but that's okay, because perfectly means that there's no room for improvement, and there's always room for improvement. So I'm hoping at a later date to come back and then take a very similar shot, hopefully with a tide a little bit higher, and yeah, fingers crossed. So I think that's going to be the end of my vlog. The light and the gap never materialized again. I missed the one gap because I was busy taking long exposures, irritating. But true to form, the skies have opened and it is raining, but this is the end. thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more content and you want to see it straight away, hit that bell button, or simply just give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm doing all right. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.